we have ourselves a casted game of Age of Mythology to watch. It is Hell's Ravage is going to be on this top side, playing as the Shenong. And I feel like I haven't watched a China game in a while. Trying to think of the gods I haven't really watched, and I think China is definitely one of them. Maybe they're not so prevalent on the ladder. They're obviously insanely strong. Hell's already doing his Shenong farm situation in case he gets harassed early, potentially by a Valkyrie, as on this side is the Rappel. I believe maybe he took a little break of a couple of weeks or a week or so after the S tier tournament. Obviously had an amazing showing in that one, so we'll see what he can do back on the ladder. And he's playing as the Thor. He's we do have Craghack in the chat, and he's not going for the Craghack build. So obviously either hasn't seen that one or thinks that he wants to go for kind of the standard, maybe more boomy style where you advance pretty late, but you do end up getting all your armory upgrades. Of course, the Craghack build you can also choose to advance later. It's absolutely fine. You just go a couple of villages later and you're still on the right path. But we are seeing he's getting his copper armor in. I'm sure we'll have a shield set up for the next one, or potentially if he wants to go the weapons. I mean, you can kind of do anything. I mean, obviously the Craghack build is the new S tier build, but as long as you're happy to advance late, you basically can do anything, get your armory upgrades out and be absolutely fine. If we come down here, we've got armory weapons upgrades are cheaper, which is pretty insane for Rappel, because he wants those armory upgrades, gets himself a free dwarf with it, so why not? Caravan movement speed plus 10% of the base. So if it's a late game, I mean, there's a pretty good trade here for Hells, all the way to this side, and then Rappel, he's got a nice trade. He can even hide it behind this cliff right to this side. It's probably as good as trades as you're really going to find on these 1v1 maps. Which ones did I not see? Walls are 40% more hit points, and then where did I start from? I guess it's this one. Nope. Get wrecked, me. Okay, myth units, favor cost, minus 15%. So cheaper myth units, that's just good all round. Both these guys potentially want some myth units. Of course, Hells gets his free myth units anyway. So he'll be very happy to pick up some more of them, potentially. How many Kwafus do we go for now? So we do have one extra one, and then I believe it'll be an advanced time after this bad boy comes out. So the Kwafus have been nerfed. Was it with the Japanese patch, or was it the patch just after that? But they have been nerfed in a sense where they take longer to build now. And we definitely see less of them now, so maybe less people think that they're OP. I think China is still in an amazing spot. We do have Shio coming through. Now, do you ever, just on this map in general, go for a second town center? So we said this one is completely out of the way. It has a gold mine kind of close, but I mean, this one is just completely rough. So it means you have to the same for Rappel here. So if you wanted a second TC for whatever reason, you'd have to go to this one, and it's still not ideal. I think Key quite often feels like a one town center map, just because your town centers, as the wood is all in the middle, they're just very, very difficult to actually defend. So I doubt we'll be seeing those, but then sometimes the players, they just like second town centers, even if they suck. So we'll see what happens in that regard. We'll do a quick cow check, like a cow check on these maps. So got 15 cows on this, 15 to 2? I mean, that's Thor. If you're dropping your armory, it takes, it says 40 seconds to build it. And then your Berserk has to run around. Maybe he didn't end up, actually, he did end up hitting green pheasants in too. So basically just took the L on that and got 0 cows. There is a third one scouting the back of the base. Like to see that one. Sometimes there can be stuff that spawns here. I think you can get some back hunts sometimes. Not the case this time, but always nice to be aware of it. 2 late advance times for 40-ish. Which relic was this one? This was the myth units, a cheaper relic. Love to see that one. And Hells is going to be putting on some pressure, or at least building some military units. Double military camp for him. Can decide what he really wants to do with that. Whether it's well, if he was against Freya, obviously he'd be wanting to build some of these halberdiers. And looks like he is going to build some halberdiers anyway. Halberdier, Dower Swordsman, just a bit of everything for now. And Rappel on this side, getting his wall up. He's already in the villager lead, as we said. Get that from the Dwarven Armory. So he just wants to defend as much as possible. He's getting his Hammer of Thunder. As soon as he can get that one, his Hearses will be gathering some more favor, and that is going to be nice. Troll on this backside. The wood lines are always rough on this map. So yeah, good to have your Troll standing next to it just in case there's a bit of a Yatza raid coming through. It looks like that is what Hells is going for with his free Yatza. And I think the Troll is just going to throw a big old rock. Unfortunately, the Yatza uses its ability by itself without Hells telling it to, and it goes over the Ox Cart, which you don't normally want to attack this guy, because, I mean, you can just rebuild another one. It's really not that big of a deal. Yes, it costs 100 resources, but it's much better than losing a villager. If Raoul's really worried about this raids, at some point he can drop his healing spring down, and then everything goes back up to full HP anyway. Age of Mythology, no Demeter video. No. There is a little bit of info for anyone that wants to see. It's like a sneak peek, isn't it? I think for those, if you're there and then and you get the video out, it's great. But if you're a day behind, there's no point. So I was a day behind, so it's cool. But I won't be making one. I assume this is the free Yatza coming through. So it does manage to snipe a Berserk, or pretty close to sniping a Berserk. Like Rappel is trying to micro that one. He micros it pretty well. Gets the snare off with his raiding cavalry and Hersa. And I think instead of losing a Berserk, he's actually... Oh, I thought he was going to take down a Yatza. Didn't manage to sneak back around the tree. No real healing for Hells. So, actually, no, there is. He's Shenong. I was going to say there's no healing. But there is for Shenong. Myth units on his bit of yellow here will heal that bad boy back up. It's actually pretty quick too. So why not? Like, Rappel does want to get some damage done, or at least see what's going on. Let's see how much of the map he's had a look at. Did the early, just in case there was some cows, did the early middle. Hasn't really scouted much of the outside. Does know where the immediate gold mines are though. I think his scouting is on point for what he has seen. Rather than just painting the map, kind of looking for each of the potential gold mines for himself and his opponent, and trying to get some cheeky damage done. Hells isn't going to let that happen. Has the Yatzas there, and that is more than enough to really defend this. Rappel's seeing if he can get some cheeky damage in, or at least just forcing the villagers back. And Hells does respect it. I mean, he's got one pheasant left, so it isn't that much of a big deal to run away, but I mean, 129 food, you never know, it could be the difference maker. So apply that pressure whenever you can. And actually a fast heroic coming in for both players. So we've got fast heroic Rusho coming in for Hells. Skadi is pre-queued, but the resources are pretty much there. We're talking 20 seconds before he goes up, if that. And the raiders are just being annoying. This is ideal for Rappel though, because it does just mean that, I mean, he isn't going to get raided while this is going on, at least with these Yatzas, which is exactly what Rappel wants. He doesn't want to have his villagers touched. He's got a decent army back here. Got, how many hearses does he have? Does have 5 hearses in total. Troll over here, so wouldn't expect too much to come his way. There could, of course, be some kind of large classical age push coming from Hells. What did he manage to scout, actually? Did he manage to scout an armory or anything of that sort? No. Does see double military camp. We'll see the scouting from the other side too. So it does know that Rappel is on this position. Great Hall going up. Could potentially get some damage done on this one, because he has hit the next stage first. There's a Fey Beast on the back. It doesn't do as much damage to villagers, but I mean, it still chunks them pretty nicely, especially with the lightning weapons combo. Yatzas managed to sneak around the side, but the halberdiers are on the throwing axemen, which isn't ideal. Need to get those straight on those raiders. Raiders on this side nicely going after the Wuzu Javeliniers, and I think Rappel is going to have to run away. He was literally just about 20 seconds behind on that heroic age, and loses quite a lot from that. So well played by Hells there. Gets his power spike first, and does push Rappel off of that food. I don't think he got too many villager kills, but winning the fight, forcing the idle time, getting so many low HP villagers too, even pushing off this healing spring is nice. I believe any building next to the healing spring does keep it in Rappel's favor, so just needs to get rid of all of those, and that'll go over to Hells. He can heal up some of his Javeliniers and be very happy. Nope, the houses don't even count. Okay, houses don't count. And now Rabble does hit the next stage. What's his plan from here? He's got the potential to build some Frost Giants if that's what he wants to go for. There's a lot of Pioneers on this side though. Does also have a Frost to be able to push out somewhere else. And yeah, I was just going to say the map is big enough where you can just move over here, build a hill fort to secure this gold mine. No real problem. You just take the L here and just move over to the next portion of the game, slightly further behind from where you'd want to be, but at least you secure this gold mine. And then if he can establish a bit more kind of map pressure here, or at least some more units, he can move over to the deer, move over to the berry bushes, and be on a absolute fine time. Hells has finished his gold mine. No secure yet, but he has the pressure, so he can just move out to this. Doesn't have to build anything. He's absolutely fine. And a nice find on that Baihu. Frost Giant special. Still good. Still good. And the hearse has... Oh, take that one down. Nice cheeky bit of favor coming in as well. Killing off a myth unit. Well, just killing anything. The myth units have high HP. Get a decent amount of favor for that. And the comps coming through is the full wood-based army. The Godi, the Huskarls. That's nice for Rabble. He doesn't have to move out really too much. Did use his Dwarven Mine back here as the hill fort wasn't up yet. Doesn't want to lose more villagers than he really needs to. What is this upgrade? Is this the healing upgrade? Yeah, this is the Sage's heal more, which is going to be really, really nice if he wants to keep kind of pushing in, pushing out. We said Hells only has healing when he gets back to his base, but actually now he gets this upgrade plus the Sages. He'll be able to heal pretty much like priests do. Or at least the same level as having a whole butt ton of priests. Taowu in, free Taowu. I mean, he can just keep coming in and actually doing that one. That's so much damage just from one hit from the Taowu. The Atzers are kind of searching. Is there... Okay, so this healing spring is still belonging to Hell, so he can see if this gold mine gets grabbed, not from the line of sight, but if that healing spring goes red, then you know someone's been over there. So do have to watch out for that one. And the Dao Swordsman upgrade starting to come through. Dao Swordsman have more pierce armor. I mean, not really the most relevant versus Norse, but if you want to be diving hill forts and stuff against Godis, potentially, then I think it is fine. And Rappel does find a nice raid. We said that maybe Hell doesn't need to secure it for right at the start, but does need to afterwards. Does have the Shenong farms up there though. Can you repair the Shenong farms? Is that what he's trying to do? I don't even know if that's a play. If you can repair the farm, that would be a pretty OP move. You can also use the Quafus to hit these guys. The issue is they do pierce armor or pierce damage against the high pierce armor of the Huskarls, so they will eventually go down. And this does allow Rappel, with just this small amount of pressure from these Huskarls, he's got five Huskarls here, and that means that he can go out on this hunt, he can start getting on this gold mine, and it's exactly what he needed to move forward in this game, basically. Otherwise, he'd be stuck on his base, and he'd be a bit screwed. And Hells has a really slow army with this Taowu in it. So being able to move around with the 5 speed, has got 5.3 speed. Oh yeah, with the Forseti upgrade. Can actually do some serious damage. The Baihu will do a lot if he gets onto it, because these guys, I mean, they have really high pierce armor, but they've got no hack armor. So one bounce, dodges the bounce. I don't know if the guys were just naturally doing that or whether Rabble asked them to do that, but either way, works out pretty well for him. Securing this town center even, I kind of like that play, because he has a gold mine here. He's got so much food, like so many resources back here. Definitely rate this grab, as he can basically, now he's grabbing this one, take the villager lead if Hells doesn't go for any extra town centers, and just mass an army, sit back here, defend, can grab more hill forts if he really wants to, and is actually getting his Dwarven breastplate, which is such a good upgrade for your herdmen, for your berserks. Gives them extra hack armor, which will make them a bit better into those Dao swordsmen. Also, the fight here is pretty equal from both sides. There is still a frost to be used at some point from Rappel. I don't know if he would save that for a second lightning weapons. Quite often we see second lightning weapons comes through, but there's maybe quite a lot of favor spent from Hells' side. Does manage to steal a frost giant, which is pretty nice, and the frost does come through on top of the unit. So didn't decide to use it just in case there's a second lightning weapons. As we said, Hells is spending all his favor anyway, and I'm sure someone of Rappel's caliber will know that a lot of favor's been spent on these upgrades and everything, so not going to happen. So instead, gets his wall up, gets his hill fort, and unfortunately for him, Hells still does have access to this healing spring. So even healing up in the frost, I didn't know it works like that. You get so much armor that basically the units just basically can't die. They take so little damage, but they heal up nicely. So kind of an interaction you don't see very often. More frost giants coming in though. And we'll see if Rappel can hold this position. He can micro inside the hill fort, and a big Tao special could be nice here. Frost Giant freezes that bad boy straight away, so he can't do any of the annoying CC that he kind of jumps around at. Hells, unfortunately, with a little bit of a misclick, goes after the wooden wall. Even it was just a couple of hits, but not what he wants. And actually, he's still winning the fight anyway. These units with all their upgrades are just so strong. I honestly thought Rappel kind of had that one. Maybe just the extra healing. What sort of upgrades are we looking at? We've got bronze armor on this side. There's one extra armory upgrade for Hells, so it's not a massive discrepancy. Maybe only unupgraded raiders. That's not ideal, but there wasn't very many of them. Does have heavy on the infantry that he has mostly. Now the buy who's coming in. Maybe not enough heroes. There's a decent amount. I mean, a decent amount left. There's 3 left, which you would assume that there quite a few died in that fight too, so... And Hells just wants to keep pushing. He's getting his divine damage for his infantry as well. Makes them better against myth units. And just going straight for the jugular, going after the TC. Is there enough Thor units to really put a stop to this? Nice pullback on this side to make sure the siege crossbow can just keep getting the shots off. But the throwing axemen are taking out the Dao swordsmen pretty nicely, kind of sacking quite a few Dao swordsmen to take down the town center. Whether or not he's getting the value from this, I'm not sure. The Wuzu javeliniers on this side getting some nice damage done though, going after their direct counters. Tao Wu down. And Hells looks like he is still pushing. There's a decent amount of eco for Rappel though. He's got quite a lot more units that can be produced. He is on a villager advantage of 14 villagers, 13 villagers. It's got his town center on this side. Oh, this is brutal though. It's a nice play from Hells. This Phoenix is so annoying to deal with as Norse. There's one unit that can deal with this one. It's a Goaty, and the Goaty's just so fucking slow. So it's really tough to deal with this guy. And Rappel has to retreat. Look how... Oh, nice reaction time though. Must have seen that one before it got to the gold mine. Oh, unfortunately, that one's getting a little bit lost. The other counter is putting a hill fort down. But you also do need to garrison inside. And just look how much damage this guy is doing. They're all so low HP. And that was from a free unit. Look how low HP they are. Yeah, I mean, you could also get the upgrade. But if they do... What is it? They do basically 50 damage in that one shot. Then getting your survival equipment doesn't really do anything. So maybe it's a waste. But Rappel does hold. Still up on the villagers by the tiniest amount, but lost a significant amount of military, so decent amount of buildings as well. So Hell's definitely still in the driver's seat here, but he's not going away with this one completely. Secured his own town center as well. I mean, I do imagine, though, that Rappel has got so many more resources available to use up to this point, because he's had the villager lead for longer, even from the very start of the game. Something which makes Thor so good is you just end up with the small villager lead from very early on, and it means that they've been gathering so much longer than your opponent, even if they're going second TC. And Rappel thinks he's in a pretty good spot here. Does force out the Terracotta Riders. They can tank for a while. This is underrated tech here. Like, just how many throwing axemen is this tanking for so long? The Huskarls are difficult to deal with. No real direct counter for Hells. I mean, he can just sit the Dao Swordsman on it. They trade very nicely. Need the Fire Archers / Javelineers take out the main bulk of the damage dealers back here, which is the throwing axemen. And Rappel's army, I mean, it's looking scary. There's so many throwing axemen to deal with those Dowd swordsmen. There is Ballet Town Center here. What sort of armory upgrades are we on? It's full bronze right now. And there's nothing really dealing with the throwing axemen. Nice bit of micro down this backside to get the Woozy Javelineers on here, but there just isn't enough of them. Here comes the Firebird, though. And even bring in some White Horse Cavalry to kind of try and take out these throwing axemen. Just so he doesn't have an infantry unit there. Oof. Absolutely brutal. And actually, Huang Di is on the way. Definitely didn't see that one. I think Rappel is one of the best players that I know for sniffing out when you're going up to the next stage. I don't know how he knows that. I can see everything. I didn't even know that he was going for the next stage. But it's like he knows when you're going to press the button, and he just pressures you, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So even though he was on the back foot there, when your opponents just spent 2,400 resources on Huang Di, you got to try and kind of pressure whenever you can. And that is it. He's also trying to go Tyr himself. Tyr is just coming through, but that'll be 2 minutes away. And there's going to be a big fat dragon coming down. How many Goaties are we talking? Oh, there's none. Unless they're building something. Looks like the Goaties are on their way now. Even animation cancels that bad lad to get even more lightning damage. Oof. I think this is a full TC. Just brings out everything. And the Yinglong, if it gets onto some of these dwarves too, it does have survival equipment now. I imagine the Yinglong doesn't quite one-shot them as much. It just needs to run everything back. This upgrade is a OP. Please use Silk. Mostly 10% HP for everything. And better hack armor as well. Crazy. So the Goaties are back here. But what Hells needs to do is just turn around and burn these guys. There is going to be a Tyr, but need some more buildings up over here if you're Rappel, because I mean all of the main buildings are either going to go down or the units just spawn and just get taken out straight away, and that definitely feels bad. Let's see over here, cheeky Longhouse did get dropped down there just to potentially do some raids, but not going after it right now. And the good thing is that Rabble still has all these resources here. Even though he took this town center like 10 minutes ago, he's still got everything there. All the resources, got the food over here, can even move up to these deers afterwards, got even more berries. The Yinglong is going to be very annoying. We've got 5 Goaties, though, that can come over to deal with this. I think 5 should probably be enough, but you do have to respect it. Otherwise, all your villagers just go down. And Hells is just taking this opportunity to be like, wow, I'm just going to take out all of your buildings. The issue for Norse is always just rebuilding everything is tough. And actually, pretty nice Fimble Winter Spawn on the army. So at least it's going to take some pop shots on the army. Actually, it doesn't really do anything. I thought that was a nice spawn. This one's going to try and take down this TC. So there's one down here that doesn't really do anything. And I think they just spawn on every town center. Oh, and Hells does manage to take it. Rappel feels like he can't rebuild enough. I mean, he'd have to get all his buildings back up, get out more heroes to deal with the dragon, and then enough to deal with this. So well played by Hells. I mean, that was that early push there, just getting the heroic age first was pretty nice. Rappel, I thought he might even come back when he did this big attack, but not to be. Well played by Hells.